Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Rangers Rabble podcast. Pre-match build-up, Rangers versus St Mirren at Ibrox. I'm seeing a lot of indifference to the team. I think it's fair to say. We'll pick through the bones of that. I'm joined by James and Ian. James, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. Yourself?
I'm tired. I'm not going to lie. I'm so tired. Ian, how's your internet?
Hopefully improved. We'll find out.
Hopefully. Everybody watching, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I've put it back on YouTube today to see how it goes. Just while we're trying to get the situation sorted with Patreon, a lot of people can't get over to watch it, the build-ups and stuff. So I've got it back on YouTube today, maybe back on YouTube till the end of the season. We'll see how it goes. Everybody in the comments, everybody watching, please let me know your thoughts on the team. We will delve into it. If you agree, disagree, please do let us know. There's a lot of moaning and groaning going on about the team. I don't really know why, considering we've got a semi-final coming up. But however, we'll jump into it. James, I will read out the team. Let me know your thoughts. So we've got Alan McGregor in goal, James Tavernier, John Suter, Ben Davies, Borna Barisic, John Lundstram, Nico Raskin, Todd Cantwell, Fashion Jr., Tillman, and Alfredo Morelos. What's your thoughts, James?
Compared to what he's obviously got to pick from, I'd say that's obviously probably the strongest starting 11 that he could have picked, I think, for what's available to him. The only one I would probably have tried to get in there would have been Scott Arfield, just obviously because he's late burst into the box, as I've said before. I'm a huge fan of Scotty. But no, I have got no moans about that squad at all. Hopefully it's good to see Suter getting another run out again. And hopefully he's obviously he's a wee bit stronger at the back of there. He doesn't make any stupid mistakes.
Listen, you can learn from your mistakes. Ian, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, see if you read the tweet Rangers put out with the team. Take what you want for that, because it's a very small snippet, obviously, of the amount of people who are watching Rangers, etc. There's a few people saying that they would have brought young Leon King. And now, for me, that would be crazy. I don't understand why Rangers would do it. And there's a few people saying replace him with Davies. That again to me would be insane. You've got a semi-final coming up. Ben Davies is our most senior defender at the moment. He's probably one of our better defenders. I know that maybe that will cause issue with some people. But if you were going to bring King in, it would be for Suter. And again, I'll make the same point. That would be crazy with Suter being our third choice. Centre back, the one that Beale favours, with a semi-final coming up that we don't know whether Connor Goldson's going to be available for. To bring in Leon King right now just doesn't make sense to me.
No, not at all. I'd stick with Davies and Suter. I wouldn't have changed it. Wouldn't bring King in. Not a chance. Not because he's not a good player, but we don't want to muck about with the centre-back pairing. We've got limited as it is, and it's cost us before. So, no, I'd stick in with Suter and Davies, other than the two extremely costly mistakes from last week. They were pretty solid together. So, yeah, keep them.
Well, that's the point I was making, James. I would understand that if we were out of cups and there was nothing to play for, then you can play player A, B, and C in whatever position you want. But you've got a semi-final coming up. You want to keep guys match sharp. Making a ridiculous amount of changes. Listen, we can argue one or two should maybe be playing, right? Which I would accept 100%. But changing your main starters when you've got a semi-final coming up, that doesn't make sense to me.
No, it's no. You can't keep chopping and changing. How are they? If, as you say, if Golson's not going to be fit, how are Suter and Davies going to get a partnership together? If you're drop man room to bring in King, I think obviously Leon King's been out of the picture for a wee while now. Do you know what I mean? So to mess about with the defensive partnership when they were 90% of the game last week, I think they did have a good game together. Obviously, I have rewatched it again, and obviously I do agree with yourself now, Martin, that Suter and Davies were all right up to their mistakes. But they're going to have to try and get a partnership together between now and the semi-final if Golson doesn't make it. So it'd be mental to try and make that kind of switch.
There's a few people asking about Yilmaz, and I'll be 100% brutally honest with you. I don't know what's going on with with Yilmaz. Apparently it's an injury. But I've got absolutely no idea, and I don't want to speculate because we don't pretend to know stuff that we don't. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with Yilmaz. I would love to see him in and about the team because I do think he's a cracking player, but life just doesn't seem to be working at Rangers for him right now, Ian, does it?
Not at all. Not at all. He's just been unlucky since he got here. Looked like he was going to do a brilliant job. And then, was it the Aberdeen game where he turned and done his hammy? I can't remember if it was the Aberdeen game or not. But and then that was it, like the worst take he could possibly get, out for so long. Borna comes back and starts playing, because that's Borna. As soon as the player's in for his position, he'll start playing. And then he comes back in again, and now another injury, so we're told. So, I mean, like you, Martin, I want to see him because he looks good. The little snippets we have seen, he does look good.
We'll just need to wait and see. Andrew James in the comments, surely Matondo should have been tried today. Where do you stand on that then, James? From what I hear, he played in a bounce game for the B team. To try and get some minutes in his legs. I wouldn't even go so far as to say that Matondo splits opinion. I think opinion is majority one way about Rabi, but he has to try and get some game time. And like I say, Beale has to try and stick with the nucleus of a team going up to the semi-final, but there is options for one or two positions to be changed. And with Ryan Kent out, but this has been the perfect opportunity to maybe try Matondo on that left-hand side.
I think maybe he's hoping that we maybe get 3 or 4 goals up and then try him, because you know what it's like with teams like St Mirren that come to Ibrox. Matondo wouldn't be able to use his pace to get in behind them because they sit that deep. So I think obviously once you're maybe a few goals up would be a good chance to then bring him on where there's no pressure on the boy and he can go out and just play football instead of he then goes to try and make a couple of runs, and before you know it, the crowd are on his back because he's not doing it. So, no, I think it's a good idea to maybe try him for the bench.
Aye, well, I don't know. There's a part of me that just wants it to work. 99% of me wants it to work for Rabi Matondo because he's a Rangers player and I want him to do well.
It's the same with all the players, mate. You want them to do well, and it's just, I don't know. Certain people go to certain clubs and it just doesn't work out for them. He'll not be the first and he'll certainly not be the last player. But no real lot. He'll leave us and then go to another club and start smashing goal scoring records and running amok somewhere else.
Do a Cedric Itten?
Yes. So, but it's just one of these things, mate. I think the boy's just been unlucky. I don't know if he's maybe carrying an injury. We've been playing him and it's just not been working out for him. His confidence is low. But hopefully with a bit of luck, mate, he'll come off the bench today and hopefully make an impact.
Yeah, hopefully. Ian, I'm seeing a lot of hate, and I don't say that mildly. I'm seeing a lot of hate for John Lundstram. Hasn't played well. Beale said in his pre-match today that Lundstram was due to come back into the team anyway, so Beale clearly likes him, clearly wants to use him. What's your thoughts on Lundstram being brought back in? Is it something the manager should have done?
I didn't have him in. Did I have him in? No, I brought Hadji in and Tillman and Sakala in for today. Wouldn't have had Lundstram anywhere near it. He's just not that Lundstram that we had the tail end of last season. He's not the fighter that he was. He's not essentially hurting people like he was. He used to fly into challenges, put his mark down and say, I run this midfield, not you. And we could drop him back into the back three if we needed to and all that. And it's just not that player anymore. I don't know what's happened to him, but he'd get the bench and brought on if we really needed him. But other than that, I wouldn't have had him in the starting 11 today.
Well, who else, James, would you have brought in then? If I take a quick look at the bench, right? So the bench is McLaughlin, Hadji, Matondo, Kamara, Arfield, King, McCausland, Lyle, who I want to touch on in a wee bit, and Bailey Rice, who I also want to touch on in a wee bit, actually. But for that kind of central defensive midfield role that obviously Lundstram's been brought into play, who else does the manager go with?
That's what we say, mate. I'm just also looking at the team. The only one you've got there's Kamara, and he's certainly not set the hell of a league this season either. Again, do you really need kind of, Raskin sitting in there as well, along with Lundstram? Do you really need two guys sitting there against St Mirren at Ibrox? But again, I don't know if he was maybe going to change it up and maybe go with, an Arfield or as Ian says, maybe Hadji in there to try and get a wee bit of game time into his legs as well. But obviously the manager seems to like him for some reason. He sees him day in and day out at training. But as Ian says, he's no been a John Lundstram of old, where flying into tackles, he's first to everything. He seems dead. I don't know whether it's lazy or he's no match fit or something, because even his first touches, I mean, his second touch is a tackle, don't it? And it just seems to be that he's no the John Lundstram that we were all singing about last year.
Right, well, I'll ask you the same question then, Ian. Who plays instead of John Lundstram?
So I picked my 11.
Who did you have in your midfield three?
I had Raskin, Cantwell, and Tillman as the midfield three.
Raskin, Cantwell, and who did you have out wide?
I had Hadji.
And you had Hadji.
Hadji on one side, Matondo on the other. Through there.
Is Hadji unfortunate then? Not to get a start today.
I think, like James said, we need to get minutes in his legs, and if he is to leave us in the summer, we need to get him playing so that we can put him in the shop window. I'd have played him because he gives us something that I think we miss. He's got that eye for the pass. He can cut that defence open. I think when he came back, he played, from my memory, with the first game when he came back, he had the ball, 18-yard box. Everyone's expecting it to go into the box. He reverse passed it the other way into a player in the space. And we miss that. We don't have that at the moment, and he offers that. So that's why I'd have started him.
Hadji, James, would that have been a good shout for a start today? He's not played a lot of football. The manager has made a couple of changes. Would it have made sense to bring in somebody who's not played much football?
I don't think I would have started him today, no, against a team like St Mirren, who are a class of the same as Motherwell, just a gang that want to boot people. I don't think it's really a game, because he could end up picking up a stupid injury. Although he could pick up an injury at any time in the game. I'm not obviously saying that, but again, bring him off the bench, bring him off the bench when we were a couple of goals up, and then obviously give him the freedom to go and do what he goes and does. But Hadji frustrates the life out of me. Absolutely frustrates me. He will try that killer pass, and everybody that says to me, "Oh, but what about the boy put through in your lap?" But you hadn't have to sit and watch the other 23 ones that ended up in Rosehead and the Govan Road. Do you know what I mean? He is that type of player, that a luxury type player.
Do you think he is, James? Do you think that's fair?
For me, mate, I think a lot of people, Ian obviously put him out wide. I think a guy said it last night on in here. He obviously said that Hadji's hasn't got great pace to be playing out wide. Do you know what I mean? Again, I think he's a number 10 type player that can play in that role. And I think if you put him in there, he's got the quick feet and the brain to move the ball about. I think if you put him out wide, he's wasted. He doesn't get involved in the game.
So who's playing out wide, James, then? Because I was looking at the team and I'm thinking it's either Cantwell or Tillman. For me, Tillman does his best work centrally, and that's a difficult word for me to say. So Tillman does his best work in the middle. Will it be Cantwell on the left, Sakala on the right?
It could be, mate. I think it's only kind of looking at that team, it is the only formation that I think that, Cantwell and Sakala out wide are the only two ones that are obviously there to kind of play in that position. But again, Cantwell likes to come inside as well to do his best work in there and all. So I don't know, mate. It'll be an interesting watch today.
Big game for Alfredo Morelos. There's been so much speculation, and they're always, listen, every transfer window there is. This is his last season. He's not signing a new contract. He's going to go. I just want to see a happy Alfie scoring goals and helping the team. That's all I want to see. And do you know what? If he does go at the end of the season, then he goes with my best wishes, my blessings, whatever they're worth. I just want to see a happy Alfie scoring goals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. For what we paid for him, for what we've got back for him, if he was to go this summer, then, miss him. But he would go with my best wishes, much the same. I want to see him scoring some goals. It's a massive game for him today if he wants to stay in the team, especially leading up to end of the month. I want to see him score 2 or 3 today in an ideal world. But But to contradict myself, having looked back at the other games, this was probably, if he was fit, more a Cholak game than an Alfie game.
Maybe. Obviously, James Cholak's out, and actually looking at the bench, there's no actual replacement for Alfie. The only replacement you could probably make is Tillman. So we didn't really have any other option but to play Alfie.
Option, yeah. I don't know about the boy. Is it Robbie Ewer? Is that
Robbie Ewer? Aye, Zach Lovely.
Well, he's obviously it is just now. I don't know if he's maybe injured or he's playing for the B team or whatever. But I thought he might have come in and been on the bench today to obviously maybe get that boy on it.
Well, Zach Lovelace has just came back for a bad injury. Well, I don't know how bad it was. There was rumours he was going to be out for a while, and now there's rumours that he might be on his way back. So there was no chance that Lovelace was ever going to feature today. To your point about Robbie Ewer, Robbie's played really well this season. He's scored a barrel load of goals. So maybe it is a slight surprise, Ian, that he's not involved in some way, even on the bench, because there is a few B team players on there.
Yeah, I admit, I had Ewer on my bench for the team I picked. He has one full start for us this season and scored on that day. It seemed like a perfect. If you're going to play the youth team, now's the time to do it. I would have had him on the bench today if he's fit. If there's an issue with him, I don't know, but he was definitely in my on the bench today.
Looking forward, James, again to seeing Raskin, somebody that I nearly forgot to mention, by the way, but I'm looking forward to seeing him again, fully fit. A wee game under his belt. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do against the lesser teams. Actually, I'm more interested in seeing. I don't know why, but I am.
Aye. Again, as I've said, I've obviously been raving about Raskin since he came in. I thought he was going to be one of these defensive midfielders, but the boy's all over the park, spread passes about. He seems to love a tackle. He's not scared to get involved in things. Playmaker, and no, he is. I think he's an absolute steal for whatever it is that we paid for him. I think it's a great bit of business, Bibiel. And again, I really looking forward to seeing him, and he keeps going the way he's going. He's for next season. I think he'll be a shoehorning for Player of the Year.
Listen, I think he'll be a shoehorn for big money, but that's what we seem to do now, isn't it? We see a player doing well, and we think, right, how much can we get from him, rather than just enjoying him playing for Rangers. CGM bench is interesting. Is the Lyle guy the lad you rate, Martin? He very much is. I don't know how much James and Ian have seen of the B team this season.
No, not seen much of it.
But I've been covering it for the Rabble, and I've been to probably 60-70% of the games this season. Aaron Lyle is a fantastic young footballer. So clever, great with the ball at his feet, and he loves a mazy run. I really do hope that he gets maybe, if we're in a position to give him 20-25 minutes, genuinely. I know he won't probably get that amount of time, but I think he's a young boy who'll come in and excite the fans because he's fearless as well. He just takes the ball. Kind of a central. He can play central attacking midfielder. He can play central defensive midfielder. He can play centre mid. Just see in the middle of that park, see with the ball at his feet, and he's so quick with the ball at his feet as well. Genuinely, see if he comes on and plays well. I want every single person watching this to get straight on to social media and go, Martin for the Rabble was right. Boost my profile a wee bit, honestly. But if we're looking at the bench, Ian, and I'll read it out again. McLaughlin, Hadji, Matondo, Kamara, Arfield, King, McCausland, Lyle and Rice. If we are in a position where we are struggling, then you're not going to see Bailey Rice, you're not going to see Aaron Lyle, you're not going to see the players there. Is there enough on that bench to help turn that around if we're struggling?
To agree with James, the one that sticks out if we're in the need for it is Arfield, that being able to take players away, the late runs into the box, we know what he can do. Other than that, there's not a great deal there if you think about the seasons they've had. Matondo, Hadji's barely played. I know I said I would have started him, but it's different starting a game than coming on cold when you've been out for a long time as well is difficult. It might be that if we're struggling, that today's the day that you step up and show what they can do, and maybe it's them that saves the day. Possibly.
Well, I picked up the wrong comment, but I'll go with it. John Lammy's going 3-0. Going on 5 easy. I certainly do hope so. I just want to pick up on this for CGM. Bailey Rice is a phenomenal talent. But I think we have learned throughout the years that we cannot try and get... I know I get a wee bit over the top with Aaron Lyle, but we can't come on here and start screaming and shouting about how good players are, I suppose, because Bailey Rice is one of those, I would say, in the Gilmore-esque mould of a central midfielder. He's a Rolls-Royce player, never panics on the ball, always finds a pass. Just an excellent footballer. And I would say that Rangers have got really, really high hopes for this boy. Got him in from Motherwell. My little brother played against him a few years ago, and he said he's an excellent player as well. And a wee shout out to the Rangers under-18s who were up at Dundee last night. A 1-0 loss, but it was a strange game, but it was an interesting game to watch because it was really, really, really physical. Young Connor got a kick to the face, a really bad kick. I hope he's doing all right. I hope the medical team have managed to sort that out. But yeah, we shout out to the under-18s because that's where these guys come from. That's where your Bailey Rices come from. That's where your Robbie Yours come from. So that we need to see them doing well and progressing. But yeah, Ross McCausland as well on the bench. I know you guys say, obviously, you haven't seen much of the B team. Ross was obviously meant to go out on loan, I think, at the start of the season. I think he did trials over in Holland or whatever. That didn't work out for whatever reason. But Ross is very quick, winger, extremely quick, can finish as well. So you might be right, Ian. It might be a case of, you know, and in fact, I'll take that to you, James. It might be a case of if we need to change something, if something's not quite going right, it's one of the youth that comes on.
Yeah, well, you've obviously seen it before. You know what I mean? You hear coaches speak about them saying that they're fearless. They've no go any of that thing that a full paid up professional might have a bit worry and control. So you might have that thing where they'll come off the bench and just think, well, do you know what? This is my chance to try and put myself, get my foot in the door now with Michael Beale and show exactly what I can do, and I deserve a place in this first team now. So, no, but again, I've said before, I don't like getting loan players in for other clubs and helping other clubs, young players out, mate. I don't like that unless we're obviously getting a loan to buy kind of thing. But why don't you start promoting for, you know what I mean, from within and actually see what our youth players can do? Because at the end of the day, if we're not going to give them a chance, there's no point in having this youth set up at Auchinaway. It's just it's not going to pay the way. Do you know what I mean? So,
which Rangers do invest a lot of time and money in. So you would like to see it working, and it's good. I know it's getting towards the end of the season. The league's gone, but it is nice to see there being quite a few youth on the bench, and hopefully one or two of them get a chance. Ian, the game itself, very quickly, because we've only got a minute. The game itself, do you see this being a attack against defence? St Mirren, 14 men behind the ball?
No. I had a quick look at the other games that we played, or at the one at their place, they did do that kind of thing. But the first game against them, I know we won 4-0, but they were tight, but they broke out and they caused us problems. So I'm expecting something. I'm expecting a typical St Mirren performance. They'll sit in, they'll hit us on the break, but when they attack, they'll attack quick and try and cause us problems. And
James, what do we need then for this Rangers team today? Because the league, I think we can all safely say it now without getting jumped down the throat. The league's gone. That's well gone. Is it about performance? Do we need to put on a show? Do we need to score 3, 4, 5 goals, send the crowd home happy, or is it just a case of get the win?
I think it's a case of turn up, shows what you can do, lay down a marker, and start put a wee bit of no doubt into the manager's head of who he thinks is going to start in the semi-final. Because obviously the semi-final is it's massive. It's one of bus basically. Do you know what I mean, for your season? And it's a case of go out there, get a few goals and get the confidence back up after last week for me. And then, again, put a bit of doubt in the manager's mind to say, look, I'm here and I'm wanting to start now for the semi.
Aye, that's basically what it's about now, isn't it? That's all it's about. Okay, folks, go and enjoy the game. 5 minutes to go. Thank you very much for joining us. Please do give the video a like and subscribe. And I haven't put the link in the description, and I apologise, but we do have a live show coming up on Friday the 19th. I'm struggling to speak today. Friday the 19th of May at 7:45 at Lounge 72 in Uddingston. Tickets are £5.50 and all proceeds are going to the Rangers Charity Foundation. Also get your predictions, and I like to look at them during the game And if anybody gets it bang on, and I like a first goal scorer in there as well, if anybody gets it bang on, then we'll give you a wee shout out on the reaction. James, Ian, thank you very much for joining me.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoy the game. I hope it's entertaining. I'm going to go, and I'm the only one doing a prediction today. I'm going to try something different, right? I'm going to go 6-0 Rangers, John Lundstram, first goal scorer. There we go. How's that sound? So, yeah, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, James. We'll speak to you 9 minutes after the game for the full post-match reaction. And, of course, as always, I hope your team wins.